The Khoa Bui Show. Khoa Bui is an author, international speaker, and entrepreneur. He started his first business selling music CDs in high school at the age of 16. He then went on and built several businesses. He is the founder of River Design, a marketing company that helps businesses get more exposure online and offline. He has appeared on TV, radio, newspaper, and magazines from around the world. He has written and published several books and created various products. Khoa Bui is also an international speaker, corporate trainer, and speaks on topics of business, entrepreneurship, motivation, health, marketing, and online business. You could check out his blog site at www.khoa-bui.com. And now, your host, Mr. Khoa Bui.
Is this video?
Yeah, man. Is all right?
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, cool. Nice book collection, man.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It looks like you got something going on there, too.
Yeah.
I've been reading for like a long time, so like 10 years now.
10 years, nice.
It's 10 years, 11 years, at least a book or two a month. So that's just what it looks like.
Nice. Have you gone through, what's his name, Ty Lopez's, speed reading stuff, or?
Not really, man. No.
Okay, cool.
I'm not the fastest reader.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So Andrew Ferebee, he's the founder of knowledgeformen.com. He's an author, speaker, and entrepreneur who trains thousands of men to become stronger, grounded men. He's passionate in the world of personal development, lifestyle design, and entrepreneurship. He's interviewed people like Jordan Belford, who's from The Wolf of Wall Street, Robert Greene, Kevin Harrington, and much more. So please welcome Andrew Ferebee.
Hey, it's good to be here.
So let's just start with the first few questions. So, I mean, how did you get started in this field of personal development and lifestyle design and everything?
Yeah, man, it's been, I think, 4 years now of really intense work. But I can say that this all started just because I was in a place of pain. I was going through a tough breakup. I hated my job. I was working as a retail manager, and I just hated my job. I was going through a breakup, and I felt like I was just alone, and I felt like I wasn't where I wanted to be in life. I felt like I had more inside of me, and I just wasn't living the life that I thought that I was capable of living. Yeah. And so, just basically that's, personal development helped me get out of that situation. Once you're in pain, the only way is up. So I started just reading the books, as you can see behind me. I've been reading for a while, but that was really the big aha moment, the big tipping point for me when I was going through that breakup. I quit my job and I just went on this adventure of personal development, reading tons of books, going to seminars, investing in coaching, and genuinely just trying to learn as much as I can to get myself out of pain.
Okay, so pretty much just spawned from the breakup, isn't it? So you must have been, just head over heels in a woman, and it probably just she was like the end all, right? The end all of happiness, and then all of a sudden she was gone, and then all of a sudden
it really hit me.
Yeah.
It was really absolutely, yeah. It really hit me. It was really painful. I didn't really see that coming, and it put me in a really dark place. It was a very dark period of my life, but it was honestly one of the best experiences that ever happened to me because it led me down this rabbit hole of self-improvement. And once I discovered that you can improve upon basically anything that you would like, and there is a formula for just being able to learn something and get a result, and then develop and then grow and then become pretty good at that. And so that started off with just, how do I get out of this pain? How do I then improve my dating life and find another woman who could fulfill me? And once you lose a girl, you've been with her for so long, you kind of think like, oh my gosh, was that the only one? Did I lose the only girl that would ever like me in this entire planet? And so I worked on the dating life, was able to get myself to a place where I was dating multiple women, dating women I never thought I could date before. And that was that journey. And I was like, wow, if I could apply this into dating, could I apply this into business and entrepreneurship? And of course, that was the path that I went down. And I started creating content. I started building this media channel around what was my story and helping other men who were once in my shoes rise and grow personally as men in their dating life, in their health, in their business, and in their careers, like I had done. And that's basically what I've been doing ever since. And it's grown from just me to a team of about 9 guys now.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. I noticed that from our observation is that through men, I mean, we don't really go through this initiation rites or anything. There's no like ritual that we go through that, you know, we become a stronger man. There's nothing like that. We just finish school, we get a job, and then we just try and figure out how to date women and stuff. There's none of that, how to become strong and grounded. And like from reading your material and everything, it's really good how, you know, you're teaching men how to, you know, like build that inner strength and just take ownership and be more authentic in what you're doing. So yeah, I really like what you're doing in that regard. And I think from what you just said through the whole breakup, I mean, we all go through breakups, but then I guess we guys, you know, you break up, then you go find another girl, but you actually stopped there and you actually worked on yourself by reading more books and trying to get stronger, learning and everything. So that's really awesome. That's great.
Yeah, you have like I had two choices. I could just fall down the path of just drinking and doing drugs and numbing myself for years and years and years until maybe one day I would fall upon, you know, self-improvement, or I could just go into the pain and I could work on myself and deal with those emotions and grow as a man. And you're absolutely right about there not really being a rite of passage for men. And when you get your first job, is it when you move out? Is it when you first have sex or get your driver's license? It's vague. And I think it's almost like I think people even question like what's the importance of that for men. And I think it leaves men very confused and in a place where they're kind of lost and they're just kind of going through the motions and listening to what society says to do rather than creating a life of their own choosing.
Okay. I see a lot of guys who also struggle with the whole confidence thing as well, because, you know, just looking at how you write, how you project yourself, how you talk to people, you seem like a very strong, confident guy. So how do guys become, how can they, you know, become more confident and believe more in themselves? If they see a hot chick by the bar, they go up to it. Like, how do they do those type of things that you've done?
Great. Yeah. And so there's a lot of things you can do to just make yourself feel a lot more confident in the moment. However, it's not really going to stick, and you're going to constantly have to do it over and over and over again. You're going to have to do these like sort of affirmation, these sort of like really kind of these little tricks that help you. And I think that's what's available online in the books and on YouTube and things like that. But what really builds confidence is really just getting results. And if you can get a result in something and improve upon that, then you are proving to yourself that you are capable and that you are enough. And when you have this and you start stacking these wins on top of each other, you become confident. So take a guy who's, you know, let's say we're both trying to learn guitar and we want to become confident at playing the guitar. Yeah. You haven't been playing the guitar. Yeah, so what we got to do is get experience playing the guitar. And once you have experience and I say, hey, play this chord, you're going to pick it up and go bam, and you're going to play it. Yeah. So you have to take action. You have to get real results so that you're not trying to trick yourself. That's what I see available. A lot of things about how to trick yourself so that you're confident in the moment. But what you want to do is slowly just start small and get some results underneath your belt and then build upon those results. So now you have real hardcore confidence. Yeah. So I think we try and look for secrets or hacks, and really we want to look for just action and results and putting in the time to develop a skill set. And there's no secret to building confidence. It's just hard work and doing the work and being patient and learning from those mistakes.
Yeah. That's really good what you just said about getting results, because I guess, like you said, like there's a lot of material out there on YouTube and there's a lot of articles that you know, try and sell the secret, right? Just do this one pickup line or this one technique, and then all of a sudden you're confident. But yeah, what you just said about building the belief, installing the beliefs, and knowing that you can do this, you can do that, and it just gives you that confidence that you need. So that's excellent, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks for that. Let's move away from that one. Let's go towards because you seem pretty fit and everything. So what's your routine in staying fit and healthy? What do you recommend for guys?
Yeah, man. So I honestly, health to me hasn't. It's more like on autopilot for me. Like I'm not a huge health guy, but I would say I have some habits in place that just keep me in good shape. But I'm not someone who counts calories or someone who like really diet. Like I look at what's available, and there's just, I think they make it a lot harder than it really is. And so with fitness, basically I just go to the gym twice a week and I just do full body workouts. Like I hit I use the 45-pound bar, and I'm doing the deadlift, I'm doing the squat, I'm doing the bench press, I'm doing the military press, I'm doing pull-ups, I'm doing workouts that affect a lot of different muscles. In addition, I do like high endurance, like kind of high cardio types of workouts, like the beach body workouts, like like the Insanity, the Focus T25.
Nice.
Yeah, and I just do that twice a week too. So I go to the gym twice a week. That's pretty easy to do, and you gotta live close to the gym. Like I feel like if you're more than 5 minutes away from the gym, it's so much harder. Like you've got to be going to the closest gym so that there's just no excuses. And when I don't feel like going, I just start small, and I'll start by just putting on my gym shorts. And once that happens, it's like, all right, let's get my water together, and then head out the door. But like just making it consistent, it's got to happen. It's got to be it has to happen. I won't feel good about myself if I don't go to the gym. Also, I'm always listening to like motivational music. I download these motivational clips on YouTube, and I put those on my phone. So I'm listening to like different authors and New York Times bestselling authors and just very successful entrepreneurs giving advice with music behind it. I find that more uplifting than listening to an audiobook, which is super boring, or listening to just music. It's just lyrics, and that's okay. But I like to power up my mind at the same time that I power up my body. And so I actually look forward to it because it's really fun and I feel great. As far as diet goes, I do meal prep. So there's meal prep services available, and I think it's a huge hack, man. So I get food, dinners and lunches and snacks delivered to me, and it's all organic, non-GMO, gluten-free foods. And it tastes great because I don't have to make it, and I wouldn't make the best of foods. And it's honestly not. You might be thinking, oh, it's Andrew because you have money. It's not. It's the same price. It's literally, it comes out to almost the same price. And how much time you spend in the grocery store and cooking and cleaning, you don't have to do any of that. And so when it's just delivered to you, you're forced to eat it because you paid for it, and it actually tastes good. So those are a few things on like the diet and fitness, and really, get as much sleep as possible. I love sleep, and drink tons of water.
That's great. Thanks for that. So you recommend consistency, staying healthy through the gluten-free as well, ordering your food, and also you mix it up with some weight training and some plyometrics as well, right? Like some cardio and everything. That's awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. Cool. Mix it up, not too hard, and I do some of that stuff just here in my living room, and then I go to the gym. It's literally just a few blocks away.
Nice. All right, thanks for that. All right, so let's go to the next question. Right. So, what advice? Let's say that you take some guy who's he's got no confidence, maybe plays video games all day, World of Warcraft, and he's got no social skills, but he wants to have that confidence to approach women or talk to girls. Like, what do you recommend for this guy to do?
Yeah, well, there's no hack. So basically, if he doesn't have the confidence, then he's going to have to get it. And there's no hack around that. So he's going to have to start small. And I don't think he's going to be able to go out and just pull a girl home within one night. I don't think he's going to get a girlfriend, maybe the girl that he wants, within a week or 2 weeks. Yeah. I think that what he can do is, and it would actually make him feel really good, and it's absolutely achievable, is if he went out and did small things, like simple things, like I'm going to walk and just make eye contact with 5 women that I find attractive. I'm going to do that with 5 women. I'm going to do this for the next week. Is I'm not going to just look to the ground. I'm not going to look away. When a girl looks at me, I'm going to hold that eye contact, and I'm going to let her be the first one to look away. In fact, most women will just smile typically. So do that for a week. And then the next thing that you could do is make eye contact, and then you smile, and then see if she smiles, and play that game for a while. And that's a real way that you're actually getting results and you're building confidence. 1, it's confident to look at women that you find attractive and to not just look away. 2, you're smiling, showing that you're friendly, showing that you obviously think she's attractive. The next thing you could do is you can smile, you can make eye contact, you could smile, and you could say hi. And you could just say, hi, you look great today. And you could just keep walking. If that's too much to hold that tension, you could just do a drive-by and just say, hey, you look really beautiful today. I just thought I'd let you know. And then you can keep walking. And yeah, of course, you would probably like to stay in that set a lot longer and potentially get a phone number. But if that's too much for you, then just do that. Then just do drive-bys and walk by women. But that is a win, because how many men are actually doing that? Even though that doesn't sound that hard to do, how many men are actually walking up to women and saying, hey, you look really beautiful today? And then simply walking away. And the next thing you could do is obviously say that and then introduce yourself. Hey, you look really beautiful today. My name's Andrew. How are you? Just boom. Now you're in a conversation, and it can last at least a couple exchanges. It doesn't have to be like, all right, now I'm going to sit with her for an hour. I'm going to try and take her home. Too far. That's thinking way too far in advance. Why don't we just try and enjoy the moment and just have a fun conversation like you would if you saw, let's say you play Warcraft. So whoever's listening, that's what you said as the example. Let's say you saw one of your buddies that you play Warcraft with walking by at a coffee shop. Like, you wouldn't awkwardly just walk past that guy. Like, you'd probably be like, hey, what's up? Like, you would have some energy behind you and some behind you, and it'd be pretty easy. And it would be okay to interrupt him if he was on the phone or if he was listening to music. Like, you wouldn't care. Be like, oh, hey, you're on the phone. You'd just be like, hey, what up? Like, you wouldn't care. And having that same sort of kind of frame when you see attractive women, there's literally, if like, based on the example that you shared with me, it sounds like he's in a, like, I would not advise this guy to go out, like, buy a course that teaches you how to pick up girls and bang them on the first night. I'm not even really about that. I think you should meet women, you should date women, and you should get to know them and build love and connection. And then if it doesn't work, then you continue to go out and date more women. But at the end of the day, I really think that's what guys really want at their core is love and connection with an attractive woman who supports them, who's educated, who can challenge them, who can be their queen while they are the king, and they can create their kingdom together. So I would start small. Like, what you can do is you can start small and you can get little wins, and that will build real confidence. It'll be so much easier to do it because, you know, to go and approach a woman after you've already made eye contact, you've smiled, you've exchanged short conversation with over 100 women. Now it's like, wow, there's this one woman I see. It's going to be so easy for you to go up to her and talk to her. You can't trick yourself. You can't lie to yourself. You can't do this quick little thing to yourself. But all you can do is go get real experience and then go out there and then meet the women that you want to meet. I would start there.
Okay, that's great. So, yeah, once again, small, consistent action, small little wins. And, you want to just keep on practicing and just get used to it, right?
Absolutely. And then slowly progress. Slowly start progressing, where the next step would be to get the phone number. And then the next step after that would be to start texting, phone calls, however you're going to do it. And then to set up that first date. And then now you do the second date, the third date, you continue on from there. But really just break it down and focus on, you know, where are you right now? And then how do I get to that next step? And what do I need to know? I have a book on all of this called The Dating Playbook for Men that breaks it all down step by step. You can just go to Amazon and check that out. Nice.
Thanks for that. Cool. All right. And I also saw you also mentioned something about getting rid of porn. All right. So let's talk about that. Right. So I know a lot of guys, always watching and everything, logging onto Pornhub and everything. But your message out there is that you should just get rid of it. So why should we men get rid of that?
Yeah, right now on the internet, over 30% of all traffic on the internet is porn. And if you think about that for a moment, that's a lot of people. Yeah. And the average age of when someone starts watching porn, a boy is 8 years old. And so that's in today's numbers. So like for us, obviously it was probably a little bit older, but as now, kids these days have smartphones and tablets. I wrote this book called The Porn Pandemic, and doctors have stated that porn is more addictive than heroin or crack cocaine. Why? You might ask. You might think, how is that possible? Well, it's not necessarily going to ruin your life and put you in jail like crack or heroin would. But if we look at what makes something addictive, it is your accessibility to it. Okay, crack and heroin. I mean, talking about drugs now. You can't just go get that. Like you'd have to know someone. You'd have to go into some sketchy area. Like you'd have to get out of your house. But porn, it's in your pocket right now. All of us right now listening to this, you and I, we could be watching porn within 10 seconds. We can pick up our phone. You can go to a website. You can click play. You're watching porn. So it's free. It's in your pocket, and you have access to it 24/7. So drug dealers aren't available. I mean, they probably are, but I don't know. They're not available 24/7, like whenever you want. Like you kind of have to go with when they're available. And so there's barriers to a lot of drugs and things like this. But porn, it's like one of the only few things that meet all of them. Whereas it's free, it's in your pocket, and you have access to it 24/7. You have access to it when you're alone at night. It is so it's everywhere. Okay, and so why this is a problem is because it's proven that a man is doing this multiple times a day and he's single, or he's in a relationship and he's struggling in that relationship, or bouncing from one relationship to the next, and he's consistently watching porn multiple times a day, then studies have shown that it's a contributing factor to your ability to connect and love. And also, it decreases your desire for connection and love because you're getting it fulfilled through porn, and you start, developing a real relationship with porn. Another problem with it has unlimited novelty, meaning you're never going to be able to watch all the porn in the world. It will go on forever. Yeah. And because there's unlimited novelty, it would be like having unlimited access to cocaine. Like, you can't. Like, one of the barriers with cocaine is you can only buy so much. But imagine if every day someone gave you a brick of cocaine, like that guy's not going to be successful in life. He's going to snort it all up. You said, guys should just get rid of it. Like, that's something that I'm about. I think most men should significantly just reduce their porn consumption and be, really aware that it is a problem. And I think for a lot of guys, just hearing that, it's like, most guys, they go, I should cut back. Like, the majority of men go, oh, I probably should cut back. I probably do that more than necessary. And I'm asking guys to take a step back with their porn consumption and instead go after what it is that you really want, which is most likely love and connection. And interestingly enough, when a man has love and connection, his desire for porn goes down, because why would you want the fake thing when you can get the real thing? So I think it's win-win for women. I think it's win-win for you. And I think, you want to have real sex anyways. And if you can add love and connection on top of that, I think it's much better for guys. Okay.
So when they reduce it, when they get rid of it, obviously they sort of like channel the energy into their goals and their aspirations and everything, right? Okay. So, but you also mentioned, and you touched this a few times when you're talking as well, is about the whole love and connection as well. So it seems to me that you sort of like discovered this just recently, because I think a lot of guys, obviously we're very visual. We see a girl, we like them, and we want to take them home and everything. But you mentioned something really interesting about the whole love and connection and why this is important. Can we sort of like talk about that a bit more?
I think it's a human need. I think it's right there with like food and shelter. I think love and connection it's a little bit higher up on the bracket for, survival and like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But I think it's something that we all desire for. I mean, there's a Dr. Anna, I think it's Dr. Anna Akbar. I believe that's her name. She's a professor, but she said that not having love and connection in your life is the equivalent of smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. Wow. That's kind of like the damage that it can do to your health. So like, no matter how, fitness and health and sleep you're getting, if you're not experiencing like, love and connection, and this can be through friends too and family, but obviously from a significant other too, that this is damaging your life. Like the pain, the lack that it creates is really holding you back. I've always said to guys like, man, if you give a guy like 3 to 5 like awesome friends, like male friends, and give him one significant other that he's head over heels for, he would probably be like significantly happier and would lose the desire for a lot of these like instant gratification activities like porn, like drugs, like drinking, and other things like video games, because he would have the real connection. And so I just think we're wired. I think we're wired for that. I'm not just, this is not bro science. This is doctors saying it, that we're wired to connect and we're wired to love. And so if we purposely like don't give that to ourselves and we ignore that, I think that we're going to suffer as men, and we may long for it, but we might hide it with instant gratification activities because it's a way of numbing that desire for wanting and yearning for loving connection.
I know a lot of people, when they're starting off on this field of becoming stronger men, they're not aware of this type of knowledge. Someone like you standing up there and saying, okay, get rid of the porn. You need to go for love and connection. Yeah, become more grounded and stronger man. So how has this like shaped your life anyway? Like doing all these things?
I think it's happiness. I think it's living a pain-free life. And I think it allows you to be more successful in your life and surround yourself with the right people that you want to surround yourself with. I think it allows you to get way more done and be more effective in your personal life and in your professional life. I like cutting the porn will, one, it can give you more energy if someone's doing it. Like, I mean, I used to be like a hardcore, I didn't even know it was a problem. I was just so happy to watch porn. Like, I didn't realize it was a problem and how it was affecting my life. But I used to watch it multiple times a day and masturbate. And like, that's depleting you. Like, you can, there's all kinds of studies that show that, you're depleting your energy. Anyways, in the porn, but replacing that with friends, with family, and a significant other, like, you're just going to be happy. You're going to be more fulfilled. You're going to wake up and excited for the day. I like, you're not going to need to drink 3 cups of coffee in the morning. Like, you're ready to go because life is so awesome. Like, you can't wait for the day to start. Like, you don't want to drink, past midnight because you can't wait for the morning to start the day over again.
All right, great. Thanks for that. So how about like, you're building a lifestyle business as well, like you're teaching guys to go after their dreams and just create the lifestyle they want and everything. And I guess you came up with this idea at one point of your life, obviously, when you went through the breakup and everything. So can you tell us more about how you built this business up?
Yeah, and I never started this thing and said I was going to start a business, man. I really just wanted to help myself get out of pain. That's really how this whole thing started. And I didn't even realize there were other guys like me. I thought I was literally the only one who's suffering and like couldn't get girls and like hated their job. And I was scared to talk. I was scared to bring that out because I didn't want other guys to know that I was suffering and that I was really weak inside. I was still working out and stuff, so I kind of look like I'm this like, I guess, alpha dude, and I still had some confidence to me, but I mean, my life was miserable. So, it was masked by, physical appearance, and but really inside I was hurting. But what got me starting into business was people just kept asking me like, hey, how'd you overcome that? Like, basically asking me the questions that you're asking me. And I just kept getting these questions, and I just started helping people. And literally some people just started asking like, hey, can I give you like 10 or 20 bucks? Like, thanks for the advice. And it just started like that, where people were like giving me money for my time. And that was when I really had that aha moment. Like, wow, like people will pay for this. Like, I'm just trying to improve my life. And I was doing this for myself, and I was seeing really cool results. And then I started turning around and helping others. And that's literally been the whole thing. Like, that's why I wrote the dating playbook, because people kept asking me so many questions about dating that eventually I was just like, all right, like, I want to write a book about this, because I had so many notes, because I would write notes after my interactions and nights out with women and all this and having fun. And I turned it into the dating playbook. The porn pandemic is a book, but I used to have a porn addiction. So how did I overcome that? And I shared my journey and story, and I share some studies, and that's the porn pandemic. I came through a very painful breakup, and I overcame that. And I think for a lot of guys, one, I realized that there wasn't a book available for men on breakups. There were 11 books on Amazon, and all of them were written by women and for women, which is totally cool. The women should have that support. But I was like, wow, dude, like, that's a really painful experience to go through a breakup and to really not feel like there's advice and support out there for you. Because I think men kind of go through breakups on their own, like, oh, I'm fine. But really, they're, at least for me, you're like really dying. And so I wrote that book called The Breakup Manual for Men to just help guys overcome their breakups. And then, like, people are like, hey, can I come? Can I take you out to coffee? Can I buy you lunch? And I was like, wow, people are driving all the way from Los Angeles and all over the county. I'm in San Diego, and Los Angeles is like 2 hours away. People are driving from Orange County to just take me out to lunch. And so I'm like, all right, like, you can take me out to lunch. And then so I realized, like, people wanted to travel to talk to me. They didn't want to just have a phone call or email. So I started doing events. I was like, hey, I'm doing an event. You guys should come out. And all these people would come. And literally, like, that's just been how it's gone. Like, people are just asking for stuff, and then I just create stuff to help them. And one of the most recent things I've been doing is, people just like yourself are asking me how I built an online business. And obviously people kept asking me. So I created a course, and I teach people how to build, I teach people how to become online influencers so that they can make an income doing something that matters to them. But you can see here, I never really did market research for anything. I have a pain, I overcome it, I document the journey, and then I share it with others who are asking for advice and help. Yeah, and honestly, man, I just really care about helping guys out. Like, I'm not in this space because I think there's money to be made.
Yeah.
I'm in this space just because, like, by default, like, I was trying to help myself, and I genuinely can relate with people when they're struggling, and I just want to help guys get out of that because that's one of my biggest messages, is that you can get out of pain and you can change and you can legitimately look at something that you want to do and you can go become that. Like, you can be a dude who plays Warcraft and you can significantly improve your dating life and be dating like the most awesome girl ever. You could be a guy who hates his job. I remember I was the manager of this retail store, and sometimes kids would call in sick, and I would be having to push carts even though I was the manager outside, and I'd be having to take out the trash. And I remember like having to do all this grunt work, and I just hated it. And now my business, multiple six figures. I'm living here in Pacific Beach, which is a really cool spot in San Diego. And like, how the hell did that happen? It's like anyone can change and anyone can go after something that they'd like, but you have to start small. You have to put in the little steps, and you have to go through some pain too, like intentional pain on yourself, and do hard, scary things. But you can grow 100%.
That's interesting what you said before. Like, you said that you had like this image on the outside where, you're working on yourself, right? But it was more of like just the physical features. So you were just, building up the body and everything. But deep down inside, you didn't feel that strong, right? So you went ahead and you sort of like went inward and started building yourself on the inside, which had like a ripple effect that went outwards to other people. Now people are driving to see you and everything. So I think that's pretty interesting. And I think also with women as well, they can sort of like pick up who's really grounded as well. I noticed that on your website you said it's becoming a grounded man. It's not about getting a six-pack because that's more physical. It's more going inward and becoming self-assured. And that's what you've done as well. So that's really great. That's awesome what you're doing, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so you also mentioned that you help people become influencers as well. So I guess, and you seem very, authentic with your communication.
Well, authenticity and vulnerability, because I think it equals trust. And when someone's giving advice, and then also if they are asking for money, like they're selling a book or a course or coaching, and you don't know who this person is, the thing that you instantly have to connect is there's got to be some trust. And if the guy doesn't trust you, then it's over. Then it's over. We're going to move on. Or nothing can happen if trust isn't established. And I think what can create trust, and what just makes the most sense, like it's not like a tactic to do this. Like, I just think it makes the most sense to share your truth and what you're really about and be authentic and not try and be like someone else. I have a lot of books behind me. It's like, I'm not trying to be those guys. I'm trying to be Andrew Ferebee. And I think that's what people want, is they want, okay, who are you and what are you about? And I think one way to really communicate that is by sharing your personal story, because your personal story is the truth. You can't deny what happened to you in your life. Like, I came from a really bad place. I had a breakup, hated my job. I was addicted to porn, also video games, which I didn't mention. And I was really just that guy who got kind of just like don't realize that you fell into bad habits and you ended up becoming good at those bad habits, like video games. You end up getting good at drinking, and you end up getting good at doing drugs. And like, it's like you fall into these bad habits, and it just really takes you out. But anyways, back to the whole influencer thing. It's all about trust. It's all about trust, especially because the barrier to entry to get online and give advice is so easy that like you've got to have trust with your audience. Otherwise, they're not going to listen to you, and it's over.
Thanks, man. This is really awesome stuff that you're giving. I really appreciate it. Okay, so how can people get in contact with you and check out your books, events, and everything?
Honestly, I think the best place is just go to knowledgeformen.com.
Cool.
That's basically, you should be able to find everything there. If you can't find it, then it's just not meant to be.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I see.
You can go to Amazon. You can go to Amazon
yeah.
and type in Andrew Ferebee, Fereb as in boy, EE, and you can see the 3 books I mentioned: Dating Playbook, Breakup Manual, and The Porn Pandemic.
Yeah, I see that you're advertising on Facebook as well, and yeah, a lot of my friends are liking your posts, and you're doing a good job, man. So keep it up, eh?
Awesome, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, well, thanks for your time today. I really appreciate what you're doing, and I guess we need more people like you to lead the way and to light up the darkness, I guess. So let's just keep going, and let's just keep doing it.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, and for all those listening, man. If there's anything you take away from this, it's that you can absolutely change if you start and you start small. You start with the small things, and you don't think about like what's happening tomorrow, or where you want to be, or where you're not, or compare yourself to other people. You look at where you are today, and you do the best that you can today, and that's going to add up to great weeks, months, and years. And before you know it, you're going to find yourself in a completely different place. And start small.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks a lot for that, man. I really appreciate it.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me on. I really
man.
appreciate you. And you're doing great work, and you're making an impact, man. It's awesome.
Thanks a lot, buddy. All right. Catch you later.